Hey everyone, welcome to PyTorch Conference 2022 in the beautiful city of New Orleans. My name is Aparna. I support AI infra at Meta. I'm also the head of the board of governance for the PyTorch Foundation. And today I thought I'd share some of my thoughts around why we decided to go with the foundation, why it's good for Meta, why it's good for the community, and just where I think we're going to steer the foundation going forward. I'm really excited. This is my first PyTorch conference, and we have such a cool lineup here today. So looking forward to seeing what's up next. So PyTorch started about 6 years ago with a very small but focused mission around powering researchers. But slowly and steadily, the impact and the scope of PyTorch has grown, where today it is one of the leading AI frameworks. And the use cases really are super diverse, everywhere from self-driving cars to genetic research, all the way to even space exploration. I stole some slides from the talk that Geeta and Joe are going to give today later called The Great State of PyTorch, just to exemplify my point in terms of the growth of PyTorch. This chart here shows the adoption by the research community for PyTorch, where we have 63% of AI research papers are implemented in PyTorch. And this is growth that's happened in the last 5 years. And what's really interesting is that even though the market share for PyTorch is pretty huge, we still see growth year over year of about 4%. Let's look at the GitHub stats. And this is a really cool chart. We've seen PyTorch grow substantially this past year, with a 45% increase in GitHub repos that are using PyTorch. And with any cool technology that's sort of transforming the way that people do work, you will see jobs being created, new skills being developed. And so these are stats from LinkedIn, where you see about 44,000 professionals list PyTorch as a skill. We have about over 2,000 jobs that are listed for specifically PyTorch. And this number, the number of PyTorch professionals, is also growing about 50% year over year. We use PyTorch at Meta for everything, from VR to Instagram filters for a whole variety of use cases. And we do it at unprecedented scale. We're talking about trillions of inference operations on a daily basis across for the billions of users who use our products. And even if you just look at the on-device stats, we're talking about a 70 billion on-device inference operations on a daily basis. But this is not just about Meta. PyTorch has grown in scope and impact, and so many people across the industry are contributing to PyTorch. And so the virtual team size of PyTorch has gotten really much, much bigger. And so we at Meta wanted to create a governance model that matched the scope, the ambition, the contributions from all of the stakeholders in our community. And we really believe that in order for PyTorch to continue to go strong, that we need a governance model that sort of matches that ambition across the industry. And so we created the PyTorch Foundation earlier this year. And we think that by moving it to a foundation, it gives opportunities for other stakeholders to contribute more, to invest more, and that helps PyTorch become really healthy, which is then good for everybody, and everybody benefits. So we host PyTorch Foundation under the Linux Foundation umbrella, and we started it with 5 founding members, AMD, NVIDIA, Google, Amazon, and Microsoft, along with Meta. And if for those of you wondering how the foundation works, let me give you a really quick overview. Well, what we don't do is technical governance, and it was a really explicit principle right from the beginning that we separate the technical governance from the business governance. And so even if I really love Haskell and I want to rewrite PyTorch and Haskell as the head of the board, I'm not going to be able to do it. I can make a recommendation to the maintainers of the project, but really it's up to the maintainers to make that decision. So we don't do technical governance at all, but we are allowed to provide recommendations. What we do is we oversee what's called business governance. And what this typically means is we protect the PyTorch brand. We run conferences like this and other such social events so we can help grow the community for PyTorch. We are thinking about things like training and certifications that can be official so we can help bring more people on board on PyTorch. And when the board has surplus budget, we can also use it to promote PyTorch development through grants and other such initiatives. We're just getting started. We're taking baby steps right now to become a foundational entity. And I'm full confidence that we will make substantial progress over the years in enabling a really solid foundation going forward. There is a talk later today by Ibrahim, who is part of the Linux Foundation, who's going to talk about more how the foundation's working and the details there. So please feel free to catch that talk. OK, so now for a less serious talk. This is the 5th PyTorch conference since the birth of PyTorch. And it's really a great time for everybody to put like names to faces, or should I say faces to GitHub handles. It's great to get the community here together. We have some very exciting announcements here today. We have companies like IBM and Walmart and Adobe talking about how they use PyTorch internally. We have new launches in production by various of our partners. And we also have contributions from various fields, medical research, healthcare, which brings me to my final point. I want to step back for a second and reflect on the larger picture. This is a photo of the Mars rover. And today we have a talk by Dr. Chris Mattman from NASA, who's going to talk about how we're using PyTorch in NASA for various experiments, including the Mars mission. And we work really hard every day on PyTorch in the community. I know people here are focused on benchmarking and making sure we have the best technology out there all the time. And sometimes it's easy to maybe forget the impact that we're having. AI is rapidly impacting the way the world works, right? And in an amazing way. Like, we see innovations coming out every single day. It is slowly percolating every industry. And so many of the problems that we see today, we look to AI as at least part of the solution. And many of us here at the conference have been contributing to PyTorch. And PyTorch is such a central piece of this technology stack for the next generation, for the future. And we've been contributing in many ways, maybe in some ways contributing to the core. Some of us contribute to libraries and packages. Some are focused on training and teaching and helping grow the community or enabling new hardware types. So I just want to say that every one of you here is impacting this transformative change that we're seeing in the world around us. And I want to just end by saying thank you very much for everything that you're doing. With that, I will hand over to Sumit Chintala, founder of PyTorch.